Hello, I'm Nancy. We are Group 2 and the members of our group are Anita, Nancy, Bella, and Jack. Our topic today is the ecology of Wenzhou, Wetland, and Wenruitang. We're talking about the topic in three parts: the overview of the Wenruitang and Zheng wetland, the ecology of them, and how they related to the urban environment. First, I will introduce you the overview of the Wenruitang and Zheng wetland. Wenzhou's ecological environment is mainly composed of two parts: Wenruitang River and Zheng wetland. Wenruitang River is the mother river of Wenzhou. It was basically formed as well as the Eastern Zheng dynasty. From the Lucheng district of Wenzhou city in the north, the river flows to the east gate in Weihan city, with a total length of about 34 kilometers. It has the function of flood control, water supply, shipping, irrigation, landscape, and ecological environmental protection. It also contributes a lot to the economic and social development of Wenruitang. As you can see in this picture, Zheng wetland is a side branch of Wenruitang river system. Part of the Wenruitang river flows into the Zheng wetland, nurturing a total wetland area of 13 square kilometers. The rivers in the wetland are intertwined vertically and horizontally, forming more than 116 small islands of various sizes and shapes, with a water area and land ratio of 1.1 to 1. The Zheng wetland has important economic values such as agriculture as well as huge environmental regulation and ecological functions. As the kidney of the city, Zheng wetland, together with the surrounding Daluo mountain, provides a beautiful space for the city. Second, let's talk about the ecology of Wenruitang and Zheng wetland. Wenruitang River flows through downtown Wenzhou, surrounded by natural landscapes such as mountains and wetlands, as well as production and living spaces such as factories, farmlands, and residential areas. In ancient times, Wenruitang River was mostly used for agricultural production, and people planted a lot of lotus in it. The main function of Wenruitang River is irrigation and water transportation, as well as providing production and living water for surrounding residents and factories. The type of phytoplankton community in Wenruitang River is diatom green algae type, with green algae and diatom populations dominated throughout the year. The water quality is in a state of super eutrophication, reaching a moderate level of algae bloom. There are more than 150 kinds of higher plants in Zheng wetland, more than 30 kinds of birds, and 10 kinds of fish, which greatly enriches the ecological environment of Wenzhou. Next will be Bella to introduce you more.
Hello everyone, I'm Bella, and I'd like to introduce some benefits of Wenruitang River and Zheng wetland. As what you can see from this picture, Wenruitang have provided biological and water resources. It also keep the Wenzhou landscaping and provide irrigation for Wenzhou city. And in recent years, the over-exploration and utilization of the Wenruitang River and the Zheng wetland has led to the deterioration of the ecological environment. And the excessive reclamation lead to the decrease of biodiversity in the surrounding area. For example, agriculture has caused great damage to the original flora and fauna community of the wetland. Disorderly quarrying has also caused damage to the mountain along the river. Along the bank of the river, there are dense factories, stacks of chimneys, and piles of garbage, which have greatly damaged the natural scenery and ecological environment of the river. The main cause of ecological deterioration is discharge of the domestic sewage, which lead to serious water pollution in Wenruitang River. According to the data released by Wenzhou Environmental Protection Bureau in 2000, the length of the Wenruitang River, which reaches the requirement of Class 1 water, only accounts for 15%. A large part of the river are pale, black, and smelly, also lost their original benefit for the environmental self-adjustment. Next will be Anita to introduce.
Hello professors, I'm Anita. My speech will be divided into 3 parts. The first 2 parts about the functions of Wenruitang River and Sanyang Wetland. I will also talk about how people use them and how they interact with the city and society. The last part is the deterioration of the ecological environment and pollution problem happen during the process of urbanization. The first is about the functions, the rule of Wenruitang River and Sanyang Wetland. It has the hydropower utilization, such as construction of water conservancy projects. It also can control flood and resolving water. Supplying domestic and industrial water. Also, it can providing irrigation of farmland. It also can help the development of agriculture. It can use for shipping, tourism, etc. So the second part is about the functions of the wetland. Wetland is known as the kidney of the earth. I will talk from its ecological effect, economic benefits, and social benefits. First is about the ecology effects. The wetland is a habitat and breeding ground for birds and other wild animals. It maintains biodiversity. It also can regulate and store flows, purify water quality, prevent natural disasters. It can regulate the regional climate and improving atmosphere. More importantly, it can decrease pollutants. The second part is about economic benefits. First, it could providing the abundant natural products. It also can provide the water resources and the mineral resources. And more importantly, it's benefit for the shipping. As for the social benefits, it's good for it has a great value of education and research. It's also a better place for the sightseeing and travel. My last part will talk about the challenge and the problems happen during the process of urbanization. However, in recent years, people's overexploitation and utilization of Wenruitang River and Sanyang Wetland has led to a deterioration of ecological environment. People's disorderly activities have caused great damage to the mountains along the river. Dense metal factories scattered along the river with rubbish. It has greatly damaged the nature features and the ecological environment of Wenruitang River and Sanyang Wetland. The main cause of the pollution is the discharge of industrial and domestic sewage, resulting in serious water pollution.
Hello, I'm Jack. It's my turn to show our program. We want to recover the Sanyang Wetland. Our aim is to restore ecosystems and protect species diversity. The background is proposed in 2002 when the concept of solutions which based on nature was put by someone. And our focal point is about the habitat recovery. It is based on a biological perspective. And we will collect many data. For example, the habitat preference of wetland animals and plants, the historic data, and the local water resource, the water environment conditions, and the current geography factors. And our final step is to determine overall goal of ecological recovery. Just look at the green area design. We use the nature law of community rotation to implement the high density and multi-species forestation method. And our design concept is the combine of mineral and nature. That is the combination of mineral and natural recovery. For the second program of Wenruitang River recovery, the background is based on the difference of height between flood wall and the river, and we decided to use stairs or create slopes to make sure the transition from urban area to river. It can ensure the demand of protect people from water flood. And for the question what we are going to do, first we will redesign the original shore size, and second to make full use of elevation advantage of the top of the dam. The third one, we will create a wide field of view for the city riverside walkway, and we are going to protect tailored to the local conditions. Wenruitang River remains the wetland water system and surrounding vegetation, and we will shape the terrain to set up a garden and other basic design for the green species. And we also want to guide the surface of rainwater to achieve purification and recharge the groundwater. The last one, we will use artificial method to help river self-recovery, and it can make sure the seasonal and water level fluctuation at a normal level. That's all.
Hello everyone, I'm Bella, and this part I try to introduce the future development prospects. We will try to combine the nature and the human life. We will allow the Wenruitang River and the Sanyang Wetland to carry certain functions such as science, education, and public activities. There will also build sightseeing bus lines, urban park, greenways, and forest buffer zones, which provide convenience for the public to visit directly. At the intersection of Wenruitang River and the Sanyang Wetland, we want to build two ecological walkways. The two walkways will enclose the waterfront into the Center Park area, forming the landscape based on the main building in the new city. This area will also become an important place for citizens' daily activities and celebration in the future. The falling column of the plank road will combine with the biological purification device, which can directly show the water purification process to the public, integrating the nature scenery and the technology exhibition. That's what we want to introduce. Thank you so much for your listening.